Okay, this is a personal update for the solar flash third wave of March 30th and 31st. It is now 7:14 p.m. March 31st here in Australia, Friday, so it's Thursday, I don't know, early morning back in the States. So I wanted to give an update on how I'm feeling. Um, when I first made the video, I was just kind of going through the list of things to do. I had just come back from surfing. I had, I think, a client later on that I needed to speak with, and so I was feeling very relaxed, and I'm always very happy after I've been, having good surf. So I made the video, talked with my client. And then tried to take a nap. And I think I technically did, but the energy was so intense. And then I found myself when I, got up, I found myself feeling very anxious. And I actually found something wrong with something in this house that I'm renting, and then I got all anxious about that and what's that's going to do. I'm going to have to move again, and I caught myself feeling really anxious about it, and decided that I was going to take conscious responsibility for where I was at. Now, I want to share this with you. The first time I felt this was probably back in, I want to say, July or August. This was after I had my first successful contact with a very powerful ET who took me through a very intense shamanic initiation, where, as you know, my whole reality just, came crumbling down, and I thought I was losing my mind. And at one point, again, probably 2 months into this, the ETs came to me and they said, "We're coming for you tomorrow, and we're going to take you to the new reality." Now, I didn't know what that meant. And again, all that's happening is they're giving me telepathic information and energy, and so my human brain, speaks American 3D English, and so it has to try and interpret it. So that's how my brain interpreted the messages that were coming to me. And I thought that come morning I was going to be taken on a ship. In fact, I got up and looked outside expecting, some kind of a spaceship, landing in my backyard, and I would get on the spaceship and they would take me to wherever. And in any case, they said, "We're taking you first." That's the way I interpret it. Now, I didn't know what that meant. Well, what ended up happening is, sure enough, that next day came. There was a lot of energy and a lot of communication. There was no spaceship out front waiting for me. But I started getting bombarded with this very high vibrational energy, and I started feeling. I'm certain there was a ton of serotonin and a ton of DMT that was being released into my brain as a result. But I went down to the beach and I spent, the majority of the day, the afternoon, walking around and feeling connected to everything and feeling this intense bliss. And then there was this feeling of being one with the earth and connecting with everybody. And then this feeling of, feeling like, my feelings and my mindset is important for everybody that I come in contact with. So I made this conscious effort to stay in this state of unconditional love, and it was very, very powerful. I felt, the sky was different, the water was different, the animals, the earth, the clouds, and I was, I felt like I was on mushrooms or something. I just felt like and I also became aware that I could dial it back. That if I wanted to come down off of that, then I could choose to focus on more mundane things. If I wanted to, I could have even focused on any kind of negative thoughts, and that would have brought me down out of it. But as long as I relaxed, the energy would go super high. And I came to understand that what they meant was that they were going to give me an experience. They were going to surround their energy around me, and they were going to give me an experience of what it was going to be like, after the solar flash, the event. So the reason I'm telling you all of this is because after all of the anxiety, when I woke up and I had all this anxiety, and there was, when I tried to sleep, it was jarringly intense, and that's why I woke up frightened, because it was very intense. But I've since, it's been a few hours now, and I've since come to realize that the feeling I'm having is very similar. Not quite to the same degree, but if I really relax into it, I can really expand it. So I recommend that you do that as well. If you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling this energy and you're not knowing what to do with it, or if you're worse, your 3D brain is coming up with all these problems, like me worrying about why haven't the owners of the house gotten back to me about the leaky roof outside. That's, and the truth is everything's fine in the house. It's just this little part on the outside of the house that's got a problem. And, but the point is that I was starting to get all bent out of shape over a tiny little nothing. And so what I did was I remembered what happened the first time they took me to 3D, and I just relaxed into it. And it's a strange feeling because I was out in public. I was getting some food, and I was out in public. And the more that I relaxed into it, I was so relaxed. Again, I felt high. I felt like I was on some kind of hallucinogen. I felt like I was on, there's must have been DMT in my brain still. And then this feeling started coming over me again. I was in a crowded place, but I started feeling connected to all the people. I started feeling like they're my family, that, being a spiritual seeker that I am responsible for helping to lift their vibration. So I started focusing on that, and I was feeling a feedback, like an energetic loop from that. And, everybody's my mother, my brother, my sister, my daughter, my nephew, whatever it is. And of course, I have to keep this to myself because none of these people are seemingly sharing the same experience. But then I became aware, okay, this is what this second wave is about. The first one on the 23rd was pretty intense. This one seems more refined, very intense as well, but I can understand why people who haven't experienced it might not know. They might just feel kind of relaxed and good, or they might feel anxious. But I feel pretty confident this is another wave that's hitting right now. We'll see. Maybe it'll increase into the next day. For those of you, you might wake up to tomorrow. For you, it'll be Friday if you're in the States. For me, it'll be Saturday. And we'll see what happens. I know it's forecast that there might be some more northern lights hitting, different parts of the world. So keep your eyes out for that. But the thing to do is to realize that, number one, relax into it. Again, it's like, if you're taking mushrooms or something, it's like the difference between a good trip and a bad trip is if you start thinking and freaking out, you're going to give yourself a bad trip. I've never done mushrooms. That's what I've heard people say, but it feels exactly the same to me. And if you want to have a pleasant experience, then you relax into it. You relax into it, you take responsibility for your state of mind, you start focusing on positive things, and those things start to expand. You might also meditate. If you're feeling intense, go close your eyes and meditate. Do some qigong. You'll see that the energy will be unbelievable. And so these are moments where you can choose to create your reality as well. So start imagining your perfect reality. Get rid of the fear. If you can drop fear, become aware if you're acting or thinking, from a fearful place. And if you can drop that and come from a place of, what is my greatest happiness? And then what kind of world would I like to live in? We can have a hand in creating this new reality as it's shifting up. So, so far, everything is panning out. I'm coming to believe that what people have termed the solar flash, I'm coming to believe again, based on what the beings told me, is they called it a solar wave, and they talked about it in the sense that it's a wave that keeps coming. So this is the second phase of it, and it may take years because this solar maximum is going to last until 2026. So it may be a 3-year solar wave, which would make a lot of sense. And, we can shift the reality. There's a lot of things going on. Again, there's probably going to be a lot more volatility because as people wake up, they're going to get angry. And if they're already feeling, anxious because of this, and they become aware of the lies, and there's a lot more coming. I can't get specific on this channel. By everybody, you should be eating good food. Everybody, no matter who you are, no matter what your status is with the doink, you should be finding out what medicines, what herbs, natural medicines and herbs people are taking to get rid of spike protein. But along those lines, there's going to be more revelation about what we really went through the past 3 years and what people have done. And this is only the beginning. The revelations about what has been happening over the course of, 2,000 years, but especially the last 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. The revelations of what's been underneath the surface are going to come out, and it's just going to be a continuous stream of information. So keep your eyes open and also choose to focus on creating positivity and focusing on love. And anyway, that's my recommendation. So, and of course as well, we've got the Hool breath, and that's playing 24/7, the Huar breath, and play that in the background while you're doing your daily stuff. When you're meditating, when you're sleeping, you can chant along with it. You can, chant it out loud or silently. They're both very powerful. And if you're feeling this high anxiety and you're wanting to know how to be able to get through this, this is what the lightning qigong was about. I didn't know what I was creating or why I was creating it. Now I know. All of the methods I've created have been about giving people the tools to be able to comfortably make this shift into higher dimensions. So I recommend that you do that. Again, my book's Interdimensional Revolution. That's your textbook. You should be reading that. My opinion, take it for what it is. And of course, audiobooks.thunderwizard.com. And you can be doing the interdimensional meditation. There's free guided ones here on the channel. And then there's guided ones here at thunderwizard.com. If you subscribe, you can unsubscribe whenever you want. You got nothing to lose. And that's it. There will be more. So I thought I'd give an update because earlier today I wasn't really feeling a whole heck of a lot. I just didn't realize that, yeah, I was relaxed and happy because I'd been surfing. But I also didn't realize that the happy, comfortable feeling that I was having is also because we are getting another dose of this high vibrational spiritual energy coming from the sun. So far, so good. I think the solar wave has begun and it's going to continue to increase. And let's all just strap ourselves in and see what happens. All right. That's my second update. If I feel more tomorrow, I'll let you know. All right. That's it, guys. See you soon.